Oh my goodness, one of the dream homes here in Vancouver. The lap of luxury this morning, living the good life. Jody, on Saturday, it's the second annual Vancouver Modern Home Tour. 7 homes will be featured. We're in one of them. We're going to get a sneak peek of the master bedroom and adjoining bathroom. But first, I have to take my morning coffee out by the pool. Okay, thanks, Jody. Coming on Saturday in Vancouver, it's the second annual Vancouver Modern Home Tour. It's self-guided. This home we're in right now is one of 7 that will be featured. Julie, you did the interior decorating and design for this home, right?
That's right.
Beautiful. Now, this is obviously one of the signature pieces of the master bedroom because essentially you've replaced 2 of the walls with sliding glass doors. And that just gives you this wonderful open concept that reinforces the idea of the inside and outside coming together with this home, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's obviously great for light, but when you come into the bedroom, what kind of things are you looking at when you design the interior of a master bedroom, like in terms of color, form, function, you know, that kind of things? What elements go into a modern home when you're thinking about those things?
Well, modern homes are generally white, so the color palette is essentially white, and then there's a few little accent colors. In here I sort of chose gray, but I think, you know, and a little bit of blue in the cushions, and that's it. This is kind of a small master bedroom, but everything we need is in here, so it works really well.
So it's very functional.
Yeah, and the bedside table lights work well for reading. Yeah,
and obviously, like with the accent colors, you have a little bit of freedom to play around, get a little experimental within reason, right?
Exactly, like the curtains in the bathroom are orange.
Yeah, exactly. Now, so if you want to get a shot of the bathroom, which is very great, and that's got sort of the open shower concept, the nice wood flooring, and is that an attribute of a lot of modern homes as well?
Well, I think what is the draining floor. There's no curb.
Wow.
So the floor drains, yeah.
Yeah, so it has that kind of natural feel to it. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the master bathroom and the master bedroom, and this is just one of the many rooms inside this lovely home that will be featured on Saturday for that self-guided tour. Thanks, Julie. We'll be talking to you a little bit later.
You're welcome.
And that's the Vancouver Modern Home Tour. It's the second annual. Check it out. I will never be able to afford one of them, so I'll have to go and check one of them out with the wife and kid. What do you think? That's right, Jody. And we are in my favorite part of the home. No, not the bar, the kitchen. Yes, Saturday is the second annual Vancouver Modern Home Tour. We are in one of 7 homes that will be featured. It's a self-guided tour all over the city of wonderful modern luxury homes. Coming up, we're going to be looking at the kitchen of this lovely domicile. Okay, thanks, Jody. We're in this lovely home here. And Julie, you're the interior decorator, designer here.
Right.
This is one of the homes that will be featured on the Vancouver Modern Home Tour, which is a self-guided tour of 7 amazing modern homes. It's going on Saturday. Tell us about this living area, because you've essentially combined the kitchen with the living room. And how important is the open space concept here?
Well, it's really important. I have a big family.
Yeah.
I have 6 kids, and so this is a gathering place for everybody. Everybody does their homework here, and we hang out, have a lot of big family dinners, and so the kitchen is #1 for me.
And again, you mentioned earlier when we were in the master bedroom about basically in a lot of modern homes, one of the attributes is white for a lot of the colors, and then you have the accent colors to add to that, right? To give it that little splash. Is that sort of an example in the kitchen where you've got the nice white countertop with the hints of brown? Or I guess it's more than a hint, really.
Well, that's just was a color choice. Typically, I like to match the millwork to the floor, so if the floor is dark, I like the millwork to be dark as well.
Okay.
And I don't like to have too many different colors of wood.
It gets a little too busy.
Yeah, it gets too busy.
Also, in a place like this, space is also essential. And I noticed, like on the stools here, you know, they're not taking up a lot of room. They don't have a back, so they can nicely be tucked in and essentially sort of be hidden when they're not in use, right?
And they swivel.
And they swivel! I love a good swiveling stool. And over here, this is sort of a nice little DIY kind of thing, because this table actually has had many incarnations in terms of color. So you can actually sort of reuse things that you already have to update your modern dwelling, right?
Right. The table was originally fir when it was in a cabin, and then we stained it dark for our last house, and this house we painted it green.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of painting it yellow.
And you've even got this living art here with the bamboo, and bamboo is great because it grows so fast, and if you need to sort of obscure a view of something, it's a great plant to have for landscaping.
Right, and it changes.
It changes
Constantly
too.
changes.
Okay, exactly. Thanks a lot, Michelle. I'm trying to work on them having a party here for BT, so stand by for that. It's a great party house.
It looks like it.
That's right, and we're outside right now. Despite the rain, it's still beautiful out here. On Saturday, it's the second annual Vancouver Modern Home Tour. I am taking a tour of one of the homes that will be featured on this self-guided tour. Coming up, we're going to be learning about indoor versus outdoor spaces and the common misconception with modern home design. Stick around. Listen, Jody, before we start, I need to give full props to Larry Dolman, who's doing the music on the show today with all the house and home themes. Very clever stuff there. We are in one of the homes that will be featured, one of 7, on the 2nd annual Vancouver Modern Home Tour. And it's a self-guided tour. David, you are the architect of this property. Amazing job, by the way.
Thank you.
And this is just an example of the sleek design that comes with modern homes. One of the attributes, and you can kind of see it there, is the flat roof, right, versus the traditional sort of A-frame peaked house.
Well, yeah.
How does that sort of differ in terms of space and lack thereof, maybe?
Well, in Vancouver, if you put all these peaked roofs on your houses, you get more density. So I'm not I'm not down with that. So I like the flat roof look, and it's contemporary, and it's simple.
Yeah, contemporary is the big word that you hear associated with that kind of design. Your background is a lot to do with urban planning, and talk to me about how that sort of encompasses your design of a home, because a lot of people are just too focused on the actual house itself on property, but you're saying the indoor and the outdoor is all part of the home, right?
Right. Housing design is not something I typically do. I'm more involved in city planning. But so I kind of brought that to the design of this house, and I look at the entire property. I think of it as a little village, and it's got a series of rooms. Some are indoors and some are outdoors. Yeah,
and it's that open concept we've been talking about. It's also on a slope too, so that creates a challenge as well from an architectural standpoint, right?
That was probably the biggest planning challenge of this house, was to get the connection between indoor and outdoor space, but still deal with the reality that from the lane down to the street it's about a 30-foot drop.
Okay.
So it helped to step down from the lane, step down to the deck, step down to the pool, step down to where we're standing, and through and into the house.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for chatting with us and for letting us into your home today.
Thank you.
And on Saturday, as I say, Jody, it's the Vancouver Modern Home Tour. It's self-guided. 7 homes will be featured, and you best be sure I can't afford any of them.
You and me both, my friend, but wow, it is sure beautiful to get a tour.
That's Susie Welch. She's so crazy. Okay, yes, from luxury fashions to luxury homes, we're going to be taking you on one last little trip through one of the homes that will be featured in one of 7 at the Vancouver Modern Home Walking Tour. It's not really a walking tour, but it's a tour. It's self-guided, and coming up, we're going to be learning about the importance of the architectural staircase. Stick around. That's right. Thanks, Jody. So many songs that reference home. I had no idea. Julie, you're the interior designer of this wonderful home, one of 7 that will be featured this Saturday at the Vancouver Modern Home Tour. Talk to us about the importance of the architectural staircase.
Well, a staircase in a modern house is usually open, and it's a feature rather than being sandwiched between 2 walls.
Yeah.
And a staircase is always nicer when it goes in one direction and it doesn't have to stop at a landing and then switch back, and it's also easier to design.
Okay.
Seamlessly.
So easy from a design perspective, also aesthetically pleasing. It's sleek. You've got sort of that nice finish to it, so it doesn't sort of get too busy or crowded. And you also see it when you walk in through the front door, like you say, through the stairs, right? That open concept. Okay, let's take a look in here. What room is this that we're in right now? The sort of
so I would call it the living room.
Living room, okay, perfect. So talk to us about some of the little design elements here that you've added just to give this room a little pop.
Well, all those pieces are vintage.
Wow.
That's German pottery from the 70s.
Cool.
Which is kind of hip and trendy now. That piece is also the same.
Yep.
And the lamps are vintage as well. I bought them online on an online auction. They're probably from the 60s. And in the corner, there's poison blow darts from Borneo.
Whoa! Sweet. Try those out in the yard after, maybe. Try them on Nelson, our camera guy. And the other thing, too, is that you see the level of the garden, and it's almost at eye level. It's much higher than a typical sort of yard or back space would be.
Right.
Talk to us about that, because this whole property is on a bit of a slope, right?
Right. So that has more to do with keeping things level.
Yeah.
So that was the level of the actual grade of the dirt. So we had to keep it level. Otherwise, it would have had to slope right back up to the top of the garage, which is what it originally did. It was a big sloping driveway. Okay, fascinating stuff, Julie. Thanks so much for letting us into your home this morning. You guys, it's this Saturday. It's the Vancouver Modern Home Tour. This is just one of 7 homes that will be featured. Beautiful stuff.